This modified transformerless SM57 heads out on an adventure today. Coming up next. Thanks for watching. It'd be sick if you hit the like button, consider subscribing, and please share these videos everywhere. Links below to DcSoundOp.com and to join the Patreon crew, the only way to get the new 2021 crew sticker. You might remember a little while back I introduced an ambitious project to make a switched SM57 that would take the transformer in and out of circuit. The idea was to make something to send out to viewers who are curious about modded SM57s with the transformer removed, so they could test it however they like and share their results with everyone else. The main desire to have a switch was to keep from needing to move the mic or align it to a stock version for A/B comparison. Unfortunately, that turned out to be more difficult than I expected. It's really just down to the space inside. My friend Trevor jumped in to help by machining these two spacers of different lengths to extend the body of the SM57, and I thought that would be enough, and it is just enough space using the longer of the two to fit the switch I showed in the original video, as well as the original stock transformer. The really tricky part is getting everything back together, though, without causing any damage to the wiring as you reassemble the two threaded sections. Pre-winding things in the opposite direction does allow it to go together but it's pretty fiddly. After testing things a bit more, though, it's pretty obvious that this method of switching the transformer in and out just isn't actually removing it completely from the circuit. You can see here how the no transformer version differs from the switched no transformer and looks much more similar to the frequency response with the transformer, but just at a lower level. As viewer UC3 Music commented on the original video, my wiring is not a true bypass setup as it sits. Lots of other folks also suggested using relays and phantom-powered circuits to switch the transformer in and out, and that all sounded interesting enough to dig into a little bit further. The issue you run into again, though, is space. The body of the mic is just so narrow. It makes fitting different switches a huge challenge. The inside radius really is what dictates how big of a shoulder you can have on the switch, if that makes sense. And as you go wider, it pulls the switch further down into the center of the body of the mic, and then the pins quickly run into the other side. The wider the body of the switch itself, the worse the issue, and once the transformer is involved, there really isn't anywhere for the additional wiring or any other components to fit in alongside it, even with the larger extension. If you try to use both extensions to simulate what a bigger extension would look like, the mic really starts to feel unusually long, and a lot of the weight is out at the element on the end of the mic, so putting it into a standard clip and getting it to hold in place becomes a real challenge with the weight so far out. The other big issue is powering any active switching or relays, and designing something to work in this tight of a space is honestly just beyond my skill level. I'd be incredibly interested to speak with anyone who has actual experience with designing this type of thing. It is incredibly easy to suggest using relays and powering circuits for this kind of thing from phantom power, but suggesting how you might actually go about doing it in this context and this amount of space would be hugely more helpful. I wanted to keep this a passive switch from the start myself for simplicity and for keeping the mic as stock as possible. I didn't really want to send out an SM57 that required phantom power to get it working. I just wanted to be a plug-and-play comparison to your normal SM57. So again, if you have suggestions for a passive true bypass switch scenario that would fit in this tight of a space, I'd love to hear from you for real. For now though, I figured we could accomplish most of what we set out to do, and that is providing an SM57 to anybody who is interested in comparing the transformer in and out of circuit. With the transformer mounted in this external housing, it can quickly be plugged in and out of line without having to move or adjust the mic. It's not ideal, but it does allow the possibility to compare the stock transformer to other transformers that are on the market in the future by putting them into similar external enclosures. There are a number of SM57 transformer upgrades specifically marketed for this purpose, so I might try to add something like that into the demo box in the future. Onto those demos now. So far, 9 people are signed up to test out the mic and report back with their thoughts and findings, which is super exciting. There have been all sorts of great suggestions on how to track the progress and the results of each person's time with the mic. Some folks even suggested something like the Playing for Change, where each person records something with the mic and then we add to it with the next person. But I don't know if everybody's a musician necessarily, but if that's something that everybody's interested in, let me know in the comments below, and maybe we can do something like that with whoever is interested in recording something. I don't think I'll go as far as adding a GPS tracker to it, which somebody suggested, but we will have a central page at DcSoundOp.com to keep track of everybody's thoughts, their comments, how they tested it, and any files they want to share of recordings they made with the microphone. So I'll leave the link down below for the sign-up sheet. If you're interested in giving the SM57 a go, the way it's going to work is we'll send it out to the first person. They'll have it for a couple of weeks, report back, and then send it on to the next person in line. There's going to be a Google form for each person to fill out with some basic questions, and then you can do whatever you want as well. There's no real rules or specifications. You can test the mic however you like, as long as it makes it on to the next person. And I'll link down below so you can sign up if you'd like to also test the mic after everybody who's already signed up has had a chance. Hopefully a couple of weeks for each person is enough. I know it's tough when you get gear in to test it immediately. I deal with that all the time, so hopefully a couple of weeks is enough time for everybody to get a chance to try it out. So that's it for an update on the transformerless SM57. We'll definitely, hopefully, have more in the future from you and your experience with it as it gets out there. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all goes and seeing if we're able to keep it going for a while, and if the mic gets stolen or what happens, we'll find out together. If you'd like to get one of the new 2021 exclusive Patreon crew stickers, jump over to patreon.com/DcSoundOp and join today, and I'll get one out to you. Thanks for watching. Leave any questions or comments you have down below, and I'll talk to you next time.